They asked me to explain some of the concerns that people had about this group, about the
Common Core,
this program, I should say. So, I want to thank the people who came from a long distance to be here tonight, and thank you to Dr. Stotsky and to Dr. Evers. The way you articulated the problems with Common Core, it made it so clear that experts were not heard when this was put together. And when you said that it was copywritten, I don't like that one bit. I want to tell you that I have taught in Uzbekistan. I'm familiar with education in Finland. I lived in Finland. I worked in Japan. And these countries that you've been talking about and what the Common Core is saying, oh, we have to compete with these people. Let me tell you why they're so successful. Because those kids work so hard. And they don't use everyday math. Our district started that quite a few years ago, even though the junior high math teachers in our district came to the school board and said, please don't do this. It'll be a disaster. Also, because my kids are half Chinese, I visit the Chinese school that meets here on Saturdays at Thousand Oaks High School. The reason our district has such high math scores, I'm also an expert on understanding the API and explaining to people how you look at the different demographics. The Chinese community, I don't see very many Chinese parents here tonight. They're at home working with their kids. If we got rid of those, so the reason the scores are so high, because those kids are the ones scoring way, way, way up there. If you look at the demographics for the other ethnic groups in our district, that explains why our district is in program improvement. The entire district has been for several years. Has it?
Yes.
Okay. And I also want to say the dropout rate is low because the kids at the high schools are shunted over to the continuation school and they're getting a test.
I just wanted to say a couple things about what the gentleman said about the Latino community not being invited tonight. It was my understanding that at the last school board meeting, it was announced that the PTA would be inviting all the parents, and I never received an invitation from the PTA. And I think that there's a lot more parents and teachers that should be involved in this conversation, and I'd like to have another meeting and have that announced more widely. Dr. Barstein talked about the curriculum, and I have concerns about it being trademarked and how much can it be modified by our district to suit our students and make it as good as what we have now. I think we need changes. I'm just not sure these are the changes we need. And I wonder, as a parent, and probably some other parents want to know too, can we opt out of it individually? At least, can we opt out of privacy issues? Can we opt out of curriculum issues?
Any questions?
Yeah, I saw for the first time tonight the opt-out forms. Thank you for making our life simpler in the school district with those. I don't have a great answer for that. I mean, I see some of my teachers out here in the audience, and so do I ask of my teachers, okay, you've got, you should be happy, by the way, to be in the only school district in Ventura County that still has 22-to-1 K-3. So do I ask my teachers, okay, you've got 21 kids that are going to be the regular curriculum, and I want you to have one kid that's not going to be in Common Core. Or you're going to have 18 kids in Common Core and 4 not in Common Core. I don't know how we manage that, to tell you the truth. I haven't got a clue. So that's the first question. The second question would be opting out of the data. I hope we live, please, I know I've been accused of being naive because I don't buy into some of the theories that are being spoken of tonight, but I hope I don't live in a country where we're going to have sensitive personal information about kids collected at school and sent to the federal government that doesn't...
Please let him finish.
I hope I don't live in a country that has that, where we can't at least opt out. I have a concern about that just like you do. I want a lot more information about that, and I'd be glad to talk to this community about it in the future once we have that information.
Okay. I want to thank you all for taking part in the question and answer session. We are now going to turn over to the final comments, which will be made by Dr. Barstad and Tony Dolz. And I believe the agreement was to have Dr. Barstad speak first. Is that correct? Okay. We're at 8 o'clock, ma'am. I'm really sorry. I wanted everyone to be up here.
Let the people speak. Let the people speak.
Questions, so I have something I'd like to say. Okay.
One more statement,
This is
please.
from, thank you. This is
Good,
from
Mom.
a YouTube video, actually, that cites a book called Voices, Grade 1 Literature and Writing. I'm concerned about a little bit of the verbiage used in the lesson plan. The video is called Indoctrination in Common Core ELA Test. In the book, they call for the children to be advocates, 6-year-olds, of social problems that they care deeply about. This is in a first grade book. Tell the students that when they write a call to action, they need to include emotional words to get the reader to feel so strongly that they want to do what's being asked of them. In this exercise, they ask the children to try to appeal to their parents using emotional words that would make their parents angry enough to buy them a swing set for the school. Okay? In the exercise, they ask the children to choose the word that is correct. My mom asks or nags me to clean my room. The proper answer is nags. How to use words to make parents feel how important it is that they help us get equipment for school. They ask the teacher to write the sentence on the board. The children have nothing to do during recess. And the children are asked how they think the parents would feel. Do they think that these words would make the parents feel upset or angry enough to buy the swing set? So my question is, why are they teaching the children this? What does this have to do with the standards? And why are the parents being used as a subject of their test?
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the final comments of the evening. Dr. Barstad, please do 2 minutes.
I want to start by saying one of the challenges that all of us will have in the future in the education and the development of our kids is that just about anything that anybody wants to put on YouTube, they can put on YouTube. Just about anything anybody wants to put in a wiki, they can put in a wiki.
Please.
Hey, you've got to give some respect.
Yes, please.
I know that you're not strong views, that's right.
All right.
He's got it. All I'm saying is you got to let him finish, and please don't interrupt him. And
Thank you.
it's just, Dr. I know, I can completely understand that people have strong views on this, but we got to let him finish.
The thing the challenge that we'll have with kids is for them to evaluate that information for themselves. And it's the same thing that you folks have to
Please, we'll just finish it up. Everyone just let the 2 speakers have final comments, let them speak, and we'll be done here. Thank you.
They come with a mob
do.
mentality, that's what it is.
And that is, if I ever had the privilege of speaking with some of you one-on-one, you might be surprised with the number of things that I agree with some of your concerns about state and national policy, but that's not why I'm hired to be the local school district superintendent. The other thing, but there's something that I would not agree with many of you about, and that is that the way we conduct ourselves in terms of our disagreements. That we should, a healthy American democracy has disagreements. But I do think we should express them in ways that are more productive than shouting at speakers, whether it's me shouting at you or you shouting at me. And I can tell you that that's something that we try to teach your kids every day. We couldn't have classroom discussions with that kind of behavior taking place. I'm not trying to shush you. You're adults and I'm an adult. I'm just telling you that if you and I had the opportunity to speak one-on-one, you might be surprised about the number of things we agree upon. But I would never support a free exchange of ideas in a democracy where people can't do it with some dignity and with some restraint. Having said that, actually I'm a Republican, but I'm not supposed to tell you that. For the last 25 years. Let's get back to local. This school district, this school board, our teachers, I think are doing a bang-up job with your kids. Your kids are wonderful. They're bright, they're inquisitive. I get the pleasure every year of shaking hundreds and hundreds of hands at graduation this time of year. By the way, that graduation rate, we have about 1,800 kids graduating from our comprehensive high schools this week, and we have less than 200 graduating from the continuation high schools. Be that as it may, we don't want to do anything in this community to dumb down our curriculum. We don't want to do anything to hurt the opportunities of our kids. You've given us lots of good things to think about tonight, and I can promise you that we'll continue to investigate them. I'm going to be looking at these things with my teachers. I trust my teachers. My teachers just don't have opinions about kids, they live with kids. 7 hours a day, 180 days a year. And so, you know, how many of you guys have had that birthday party for the 11-year-old with 20 friends come over? It's the longest 2 hours of your life. Our teachers are in the classroom with those kids every day, 180 days a year, 7 hours a day. And I really do trust their judgment. I would ask you to trust ours just a bit more at the local level. But it's right that you ask questions. And it's right that we do investigations. And I thank you for being here this evening. And we're going to try to continue to make this the best school district in California. Tony, you want to